Hey guys, Josh Weidman here with TCS Investments. If you've been thinking about building a rental portfolio, it's first important to set and put together a process for building that portfolio, whether that looks like, buying an existing portfolio from another investor or doing the one-off model where you're buying one, then two, then five, then 10, and building that portfolio. The process that I recommend and that I've implemented myself is to start with one property. I've seen this a couple times with our turnkey business and other instances where people think that they want to invest in real estate and they end up going in and buying 3, 4, 5 properties all in one shot right up front. And they get in there and they go through the renovations and they lease up the properties, and then they realize, hey, this just isn't for me. Real estate is not the same as investing in the stock market or in a bond or putting your money in a CD. There is a hands-on component to it, and you got to know whether or not you have an appetite for that type of investment. After you've gone through that first property, now you're going to learn a heck of a lot. When you buy it, most people, they buy something like 3 properties over the course of their entire life. As an investor, there's going to be months where you're going to do that in a week, So you got to get through a process. How do you manage the upfront portion of the acquisitions? How do you analyze a deal? What neighborhoods do you look in? Once you see a property, what are you comfortable with? As far as paying for the title and what insurance company are you going to use, what kind of coverage are you comfortable with. Then if there's renovations to be done, who are you going to use to do the renovations? Do you have a contractor in place? What are your units going to look like? How much in renovations are you comfortable spending? And what is the scope of renovations that you're comfortable with? After the place is renovated, do you put a tenant in or you hand it over to an agent to lease it up? Once it's leased, are you going to manage it or not manage it? How hands-on do you really want to be? Where do the phone calls go if there are maintenance required? What if there's an emergency? What if one of the properties catches fire? What are you going to do there? The best way to address this is to sit down and mind map this. Start with step 1. I recommend identifying a couple neighborhoods or locations where you want to invest. Keep them close to home. Keep them close together so that if you're collecting rents or if you've got maintenance, or hey, let's say you just want to drive around and see your properties, that doesn't take you 2 days to get to all the properties. If they're in 1 or 2 little neighborhoods close to where you live, it's easy to drive around and take a look at them. Step 2, identify a title company that you'd like to work with. Be consistent with that title company, interview a couple. There are a handful of really great title companies in the Philadelphia market that cater a lot to real estate investors. Take a look at some of their settlement sheets and identify some of the expenses that you can expect to see on that settlement sheet. Next, take a look at a couple different insurance brokers to identify the type of insurance you're going to need. If you're doing renovations, you're going to want a builder's risk policy to cover that property while it's vacant. After the renovations are done and the tenant's moving in, you're going to need a landlord policy. Make sure that you're working with somebody that, number 1, prorates the policies so that if it takes you a month or 2 months to renovate the property and then you have a tenant in place, you're not losing 3 or 6 or 9 months worth of premium in that house. After you go to settlement, interview a bunch of contractors. Determine, take a look at the type of work that they do, the neighborhoods, the people that they work for, and be consistent with the type of finishes. One of the best things that I ever did was sit down and pick out all of the finishes for every rental property that we are going to do. The same flooring, same tiles, same bathroom finishes, the whole 9 yards, same, cabinets, countertops, everything, so that I can hand that template, I can hand that list of materials to my contractor and say, this is what I want the house to look like when we're done. This is where you get the materials, this is what they're going to cost, go get it done. That kind of process and those kind of systems make things easier. When you're looking to lease up the property, hey, if you're really good at leasing a house, great. But if you're not, choose a good property manager or a good leasing agent that's going to be able to market your property really well, get a ton of people in, analyze the type of applications you're getting, and place the best tenant that's going to be the best price for your particular unit. From there, manage or not to manage. You always have to calculate the management fees within your financial model, whether you're going to manage them yourself or you're going to hand them over to to a company to manage them for you. Either way, make sure that you're interviewing a handful of property managers, talk to their current clients and past clients, ask them questions like, hey, give me some examples when clients have not been happy with your service. I mean, property management is a tough business. I used to have my own management company, and I can tell you, being stuck in the middle is not a great place to be. They're going to have a story about an unhappy client. You want to get to the bottom of that, hear what they have to say, and just make sure that you have a comfort level going into their relationship. Hey, rental properties are a great way to build wealth, but having a process in place and having the foresight to set down your process is going to make things a heck of a lot easier as you go along and build that portfolio. That's all I got for today. Thanks a lot for spending some time with me. I really appreciate it. I wish you the best of luck in your real estate investing, and I'll see you soon. Take care.